All right, for our next example, we have h of x equals negative 1/3 x squared. So we're going to start by finding the vertex. And again, the vertex, the x value of the vertex, x equals negative b over 2a. When I look at this example, a equals negative 1/3, b equals 0, and c equals 0. So I'm going to go back and plug in 0 for b over 2 times negative 1/3, and that gives me 0 over negative 2/3, which is 0. So the x value of my vertex is 0. When I plug that back in to the original equation, I have y equals negative 1/3 times 0 squared, y equals 0, so my vertex is 0, 0. I'm going to plot that on my graph and make a little chart to find more values. Right, so I know that when x is 0, y is 0. Because a is negative 1/3, I'm going to use a different value for x. I'm going to use the value of 3 just to get rid of that fraction, to clear the fraction. And when I plug 3 back into the equation, I get negative 3. So I'm going to graph 3, negative 3. I'm also, the next x value I'm going to use is 6. Again, I like to clear that fraction, and when x is 6, when I plug it into the equation, I get y is negative 12. All right, so my graph doesn't actually go down far enough. I'm just going to put it down there. I am going to draw the axis of symmetry onto my graph. The equation for the axis of symmetry, or the, I'm abbreviating AOS, is the x value of the vertex. It's an equation, so my axis of symmetry is x equals 0. I'm going to look at my points and reflect them over the axis of symmetry. So my first point is 1, 2, 3 units away from the axis of symmetry, 1, 2, 3 units on the other side. This point is 6 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore it's going to be 6 units on the other side. And again, I'm estimating because my graph isn't long enough. I'm going to draw a smooth curve. And there is my parabola. You can see this parabola opens down. So in this case, I have a maximum value for y, and my maximum value is my y value of the vertex, which is 0. Okay, my y value does not go above 0. When I look at the domain and range, again, my domain is not restricted, so my domain is all real numbers. My range, when I look at my graph, my y values will never be greater than 0. Therefore, my range will be written as y is less than or equal to 0. When I compare to the parent function, I'm looking at an a value of negative 1/3. So right away, I see that I'm comparing to the parent function. I have a vertical stretch. Shrink. Oh, take that back. A vertical shrink by a factor of 1/3, because the absolute value of my a value is less than 1, and because my a value is negative, a reflection in the x-axis. Okay, and there's my example 3.